Hi y'all, I'm Amber and today I'm going to be doing the Courtship book tag that was created by Hi I Love Books. I'll put a link to the original video that she did so you can get the full explanation for this tag. But there are 10 phases that coordinate with a book and with each level of courtship. So let's just jump right in with phase 1. Initial attraction, a book that you bought because of its cover. I don't buy books because of its cover. I buy books because it's one, cheap, and two, I really want to read it. I've never really physically gone out and been like, this is the book I want because I really love that cover. So it was really hard for me to choose this one, and the other thing about this is that I chose one that I actually didn't buy for myself, but I got for Christmas, and that is 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And the only reason why I feel like this is the most fitting is because I did actually request this book. My mom asked me what are some things I would like for Christmas, and I chose this one. It's actually the cheaper one at Barnes & Noble, and there was another version that was just as nice, if maybe a little nicer than this one, but I absolutely loved this one with the shiny edges, which I'm pretty sure you can't tell that's there, and the ribbon, and just the pages are really, really nice and, you know, sturdy and everything. I'm pretty sure you have to get this, and it's the only one that I do really consider fitting for phase 1. Phase 2 is first impressions. Choose a book that you bought because of its summary. I chose Getting In by Karen Stabiner. I'm not sure how you pronounce her last name. I wanted to choose a book that I haven't talked about on this channel ever, and so I chose this one. About this book, I was just beginning college. This is all about high school students preparing for applications, and there's the stress and everything that goes along with trying to get into the colleges that they want to get into. So I was really intrigued by the summary and everything, and I had to get it, and I did really enjoy this one. It's been such a long time since I've actually read it, so I definitely do need to reread it, but I do know that this was one that I did specifically chose for its summary. The thing is, for the most part, I do choose the book based on its summary or the title, and that's like the only reason why I'll get a book. But, you know, this is the first one that I could think of that I haven't actually talked about on this channel. Phase 3, Sweet Talk. Choose a book with great writing. I could have chosen several different books, but I chose to choose this one. This is The Dove Keepers by Alice Hoffman, and I absolutely love the writing in this one. It just blew me away. Phase 4, The First Date. Choose the first book in a series that made you want to read the rest of the books. I chose Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. I could have chosen several other series that I have, but this is the only one where I've actually read the rest of the books, so I thought this would be the best one to choose. I feel like the other books makes me want to read the other books, but I haven't, so it doesn't feel like it was as strong of a want as this one was, which is actually quite true. I worked very hard to read all of these books because I absolutely loved Game of Thrones, and every book just seemed to get better, except the last 2 books started to kind of falter in its strength of story and just entertainment, so I'm a little bit sad about that, but for the most part, the series on the whole is pretty amazing, and so this was a no-brainer for me. Phase 5, Late Night Phone Calls, a book that kept you up all night. Phase 6, Always on My Mind, a book that you couldn't stop thinking about. For this phase, I chose Leaving Time by Jodi Picoult. I was still thinking about this. This is a pretty recent read. I think I read this in January, and I just absolutely fell in love with this book. It talks about elephants, which are my absolute favorite animals in the whole wide world, and so it just kept me thinking about it for a very long time. It was also one of those books where I was like, did you know this or do you know that to people around me? I couldn't stop talking about it or thinking about it, so this is just the perfect answer for this phase. Phase 7, Getting Physical, a book in which you love the way it feels. I don't really pay attention to the way the book feels unless it actually bothers me. So I chose Little Women by Louisa May Alcott just because it's god-awful. Like, I don't like this feeling. It's soft and it has a weird feel to it. I can't read this book with this cover, so I'm definitely going to be replacing this. with a different one, but it's just the way it feels. Phase 8, meeting the parents. Choose a book that you would recommend to family and friends. I chose To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Phase 9, thinking about the future. Choose a book or series you would read many times in the future. I chose Anne of Green Gables by Ella Montgomery. This is the first book in the Anne of Green Gables novels, and I would reread all of them. I probably should have chosen something different because I do talk about this all the time, but this is like the most perfect answer for this question because I do reread these books all the time. I read them at least once a year, and I've done that since I was in 5th grade. I absolutely love this series. It's always been there for me in my hardest times and in my darkest moments. And there's always been one of those series that can lift me out of anything, and Anne is just so special to me. She's always, kind of had this optimistic viewpoint that I don't really have. And so it's always nice to get back into reading her story and just feeling her optimism kind of rub off on me. So it was the perfect answer for this. The 10th phase is Share the Love. Who do you tag? I'm going to tag Reading Sessions because I don't think she's done it. And I tag anybody else who hasn't done this tag because I think this is a really fun tag, and I would love to hear your answers for these. Thank you all so much for watching, and keep smiling.